The other thing is, okay, in Florida, people historically have bought liens with, hey, they heard on the internet, I can go buy this lien, and then in 2 or 3 years, I can just apply and I'll get a deed. And that's not the case, right? You're going to, earn your interest, right? And so if you bid down to that 0.25% and you want to earn that 2 or 3 years later, you still have to go through what's called a tax deed application. There's still a separate sale. You don't get that deed unless you go to the tax deed sale and buy it. But then if you bid it down to 0.25%, that's what you earned. And so this whole idea of, I thought I got 18. No, it's the bidding started at 18. You bid that down to 1/4, right? You can get burned there.
No.
That same mistake a similar mistake can translate to just understanding the procedures, right? And I always recommend folks to speak to an attorney. I guess one thing that TSR is not, we're not an educator, we're not a coach, we're not really like holding people's hand out to do this.
Yeah.
Our resources are excellent for folks that understand what they're doing. But if you're still learning, I always recommend talk to an attorney in the state that understands the space, right? That's not every real estate attorney. When you can ask them basic questions, and if they say, I got to get back to you on, it's probably not the right attorney to talk to. You're going to pay them to go educate themselves. There are attorneys that know what they're doing in the space already, and they can guide you to more of these things. And the other example I was going to use is use that same methodology, right? And in Florida, if you start at 18, you bid down to 0.25%, there's what's called a penalty, which is an automatic 5%. So at least you're going to get that. 0.25% isn't a great return. 5% right now is not a good return, but it's better. People take that same mentality and go, oh, Arizona has a bid down. It's at 16, you bid it down, and people will bid that down to 0.25%. Arizona doesn't have that 5% penalty. So if you bid it down, that's what you're getting. And so you can say, hey, I just didn't do real well in Florida. I'll go to Arizona. Instead of bidding 0.25%, I'll bid it down to 2 because you get an extra 1.75%. In reality, you shot yourself in the foot because at least you were getting 5.25, right? Now you're getting less than 3, right? Yeah. It's just understanding the process, understanding the rules, understanding the legalities, right, behind owning that lien and what you can and can't do is critical in order to be successful in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's all about it's process. If you know what you're doing in equities, or if you know what you're doing, it's all, and there's always risk and downfalls and benefits to each step, and you have to carefully weigh those things. Then a follow-up question for the audience is, what percentage, let's say you're successful, you got the tax lien,